What's going on, y'all? I'm here to talk about these really cool buffs and changes I've made for Copperajah. But before I get into explaining the stat total, the stat distribution, the semi-pseudo, the abilities like water absorb and why I chose that, I promise I'll explain it in just a second. But before I get into that, I want to have a disclaimer for new viewers. Appreciate you guys coming and clicking the video. I also appreciate all my returning viewers. Make sure y'all, drop a like, comment, sub. I know that stuff's annoying when people ask for it, but it really makes a huge difference for getting my videos out to more people, and then therefore more people seeing my work that I put into my ROM hacks. Uh, but with all that out of the way, well, with that being said, I want to have a disclaimer for new people. Yeah, so make sure that you click the link down below in the description. Don't click off the video yet because it'll mess up the watch time, but I do have text bullet point explaining all of the basic core elements of the ROM hack and why it's balanced the way it is. And then when you're done reading that, you can come back to it and you'll be able to understand my approach for things a lot better. If you haven't done that, definitely give that a little skim at least. And then it'll also help you explain Teamlocked, for example, which is really important, a big part of the game. But yeah, and then lastly, when you're done with the video, you can check out all the playlists linked down below, join the Discord, and then most importantly, again, you can look at the Google Sheet with the move guide. It has all of the moves, buffs, and changes in the game organized in great detail. Super, super important. I'd definitely give it a look when you're done with this video. Don't click off now, though. And yeah, with all that being said, Copperajah. So they're now a two-stage semi-pseudo. There are other Pokemon like this. Currently, it's stuff like Farigiraf and Dunsparce and there's others. There's a good Glamora, stuff like that. Usually it's based on either vibes or if I really think they need the stats, but most of the time it's just based on the vibes that Pokemon gives. Copperajah, for example, there are also three-stage semi-pseudos that fit this, like Mamoswine, for example, is one that also has like similar vibes to Copperajah in regards to like its stature, just being like this big elephant type creature, right? And Copperajah just gives me the vibes. So that's why it's a two-stage semi-pseudo. There are tons of other Pokemon like this, and regardless of the stats, they're all going to be great. However, speaking of stats, I know somebody's going to lose their shit looking at this stat distribution because it is definitely some like Iron Hands ass stat distribution. I mean, I think it makes sense. I like to make my changes make sense, and I don't think, especially when it comes to bulk, like there are Pokemon that are way, way bulkier than this because of abilities like Permafrost, Fur Coat, Fluffy, regen, all that type of shit, right? So on paper, yeah, it looks crazy, but I mean, I'm more worried about things that are insanely fast and strong as opposed to things that are like super defensive or bulky, because at the end of the day, it's still moving second most of the time, unless you're running Quick Claw, which is a single-use consumable item now, which is a very good item on them, but of course you have item claws and that only works once per battle. And regardless, I mean, it makes a lot of sense. It's this giant metal elephant, so I think having this big ass HP and big ass defense makes a lot of sense. And its SPDF, while looking relatively mediocre with that 144 HP, is insane. I mean, even its SPDF is super high. 70 SPDF essentially with 145 HP essentially is very good. So yeah, as for why I chose Water Absorb, there is a Pokedex entry talking about how they're resistant to water. And also like their design in general, like elephants, they like to swim, they live in water or near water. They don't live in water, but they like to swim and live near water a lot of the time. And especially, I think specifically Indian elephants as well. But yeah, which is what Copperajah is. I know that he's based on an Indian elephant. And it just makes sense for their color scheme and mostly for that dex entry because of the whole relationship with like the copper. Not to mention their pre-evolution has a bit of a cup, like a teacup vibe going on. Although the reason Cuffant, I'd say Cuffant, I'm gonna say Cuffant. The reason Cuffant doesn't have water absorb is because the dex says it's copper body. Oh my god, I can't speak English, bro. The copper body tarnishes in the rain, turning a vibrant green color. So it tarnishes, right? So Copperajah is resistant to water. Ideally, if I could make an ability that makes him resist water, I would, but I can't. Ideally, I'd give him an ability that makes him resist water and fire at the same time. That'd be pretty cool, but regardless, I can't do that, right? So water absorbs the next best thing, and also it is pretty sick. Pure steel type with this bulk immune to water is great. You're immune to water, poison, and then you resist, half the fucking type chart because you're a steel type. So that's awesome. And again, you're just so bulky. Even like super effective, strong stabs are effective physical, ground and fighting moves and shit. You'll be able to tank with ease, at least one. Not always. I mean, it depends how strong it is, really. Some Pokemon will probably still be able to OHKO you, but with investment, you can definitely tank it with HP and defense investment. And yeah, your other abilities are very straightforward. Sheer Force has tons of new boosted options that I'll cover in just a second, but they're all bolded as you can see on the screen. I should probably... There we go. So that's awesome. And then Mold Breaker is a very nice situational ability because of annoying abilities like Sturdy, Multi-Scale, even stuff like Levitate. It's nice to be able to completely ignore those and just immediately, like, not because, for example, this guy doesn't get any super strong multi-hit moves, right? Or any way to cheese Sashes or Sturdy very easily. He doesn't even get priority because I mean the only priority he gets is High Horsepower and Mudshot. Mudshot being, you know, fucking piddly coming from him. I mean, it's actually not that bad. 80 special attack. It's actually pretty solid. But especially if you get like Terra Ground, it could be funny. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Point being, he doesn't get like strong stab priority, which a lot of Pokemon do. So until you get High Horsepower, which is very, very, very powerful, 90 power, priority flinch cheese move. But that's at the very, very end of the game. And I give that to every Pokemon that has this type of body shape or feet shape. You know, like any type of like elephant, horse, deer type Pokemon. I'm probably either gonna have to end up nerfing it in power or making it inaccurate, so you have to hold wide lens or some other drawback because it is like it's by far the most widespread of the flinch cheese moves. But we'll have to see as the game plays out how I feel like balancing these types of things. We'll see. For now, though, this is what it is. And yeah, being able to switch between Sheer Force, Water Absorb, and Mold Breaker is very good because you're not always gonna need that 30% boost from Sheer Force at all. Like you're just never gonna. You're not always gonna need that 30% boost, right? Also, stuff like Heavy Slam and Heat Crash is boosted now, so it's not just Iron Head, which is awesome. Even stuff like Avalanche, you know, 140 power plus the Sheer Force boost. You've got Takedown, Play Rough, Wild Charge, and Hell Thrust, all of which are 100 power recoil moves. Liquidation, which I gave them tons of water moves because of the whole like Elephant Rain type theme they have going on. I don't know why they don't get it in normally, honestly. Don't they get Surf? Nah, they don't get any water moves, which is weird to me. They totally make sense to learn water moves, but anyway. Even stuff like Power Whip is boosted, although with Power Whip you'd have to run a wide lens with that. Same with stuff like Megaton Kick and Supercell Slam, but you know, it is what it is. Strength is, you know, strong. Rock type Double Edge, Sheer Force boosted. Even stuff that isn't Sheer Force boosted is strong, like Super Power is 140 power, drops your attack by -2. Also stuff like Zen Headbutt and Rock Slide are accurate 95 base power, you know, no drawback options there. So Heat Crash, Heavy Slam also just the fact that he's so heavy makes, I mean, I know Heavy Metal is really good and competitive because it makes his Heavy Slam like guaranteed 120 power, but in this case, you know, you have a Sheer Force who's a Heavy Slam anyway, so it's not really a big deal, and you also get a boost on all your other moves. Yeah, man, I don't know what else to say. It's very straightforward. Q-Fant has Sturdy instead of that Water Absorb for the reasons I said earlier. Sturdy is pretty great, obviously on the special side. Its bulk isn't that good, although I mean it's still very solid as a pure steel type. 7259 with Violet as well is very, very, very bulky as well. But yeah, that 144 HP, I didn't cover this yet. It works like Makuhita and Hariyama. Ow! I just splintered myself. Fuck. God damn it. I was playing with chopsticks, bro. Anyway, that sucks. Anyway, the HP doubles is my point. So like Makuhita Hariyama doubles from 72 to 144. I figured Q-Fan and Copperajah can do the same thing. I think that's kind of cool when Pokemon do that when they evolve. I love little stat numbers like that. And then the defense, yeah, is very, very high, obviously. I mean, this thing is insanely bulky on the physical side and still very tanky, tanky on the special side. Bro, my voice is shot. I've been bulk recording like all day, but yeah. You also get reliable recovery in the form of Fortify, which is steel type recover. And then again, tons and tons of cool, strong coverage moves, a lot of which are Sheer Force boosted, as you can see. I don't feel the need to cover every single one. Other utility options like Metal Sound are good. That drops attack and special attack by -2. Sorry. Special attack and special defense by -2. I could throw on Battle Cry, but yeah, whatever. He doesn't fucking need it. I mean, elephants do be doing that, I guess. Whatever, man. Sure, I'll toss it on. There's room. Whatever, man. My throat is killing me. Yeah, alright. That's basically it anyways. Very straightforward Pokemon. It's just strong, tanky as hell. That high horsepower flinch is super strong late game, but it's also Sheer Force boosted, so you could use it for an extra boost and not have to worry about the flinch if you're one-shotting, right? Let me just type in Copperajah Battle Cry 45 real quick. 1 second, y'all. Yeah, I don't know. That's about it, man. Water Absorb might seem like a reach, but I think it's cool at the very least, even if it's not the most fitting. I mean, it still fits. Like, there is precedent for it with the whole resistant to water bit, and being an elephant in general. So, yeah, appreciate you listening if you made it to the end. Let me know if you did, and I'll be back for more videos coming up, y'all. Oh, also Terra Blast is Sheer Force boosted now. I gotta remember that. 50-50 to drop defenses. I gotta put that on all the other Sheer Force guys. All right, I'll do that right now. Peace, y'all.